All right, everybody. So the big question is, what in the world is this infamous buffalo sentence? So if you go back to the very first worksheet we ever got, all the way back on November 5th, it's the very first thing on the top of that worksheet was we introduced adjectivals, and there's the famous buffalo sentence. So let's talk about what that sentence even is and how it even came about. So I'm going to start off with an example sentence. You're just going to follow along with me, and then eventually we're going to get to the buffalo sentence. You just trust me on this one. So let's take a sentence which says, Fiji cannibals that American politicians eat. I'm sorry, Fiji cannibals that American politicians fear eat American missionaries. That makes a lot more sense, or at least still it's a little creepy. I want you to see there's this adjective clause sitting right here, which is that American politicians fear. So your outside sentence, I'm going to change the color for you can see it. I'm going to change them over to this pretty blue, which is Fiji cannibals eat American missionaries. That is a scary thought. So let's build this one. So I'm going to build him right down here. All right, so I'm going to say cannibals, Jeffrey. So these are cannibals, but they are Fiji cannibals. And I looked it up. Fiji is known for having some cannibals. There you go. Fiji cannibals. And then outside we have they eat. And what do they eat? They eat missionaries. And what kind of missionaries? They are American missionaries. So kind of a noun. And then we have this adjective clause sitting down here. I'll change them over to my orange, which is really, put them down here, that American politicians fear. Well, we know the word that is really renaming cannibals. So we're saying cannibals American politicians fear. So really what we're saying is the politicians, sorry about that S, politicians fear, direct object, cannibals, which is in this case is in the word that. We're going to connect those two here, and they are, boom, American politicians. Great. Now here's something you may or may not realize, and we've talked about before, is sometimes you can actually cut out the word that. You don't really have to have it. So if I scratch the word that out, I could just simply say, Fiji cannibals, American politicians fear, eat American missionaries. You don't have to have the word that. So once again, Fiji cannibals, American politicians fear, eat American missionaries. So if you did cut it out, and I'm going to use my little eraser here, then what happens is this word disappears and you're left with a blank space. And we know if you want to leave a blank space, you can put the word that in parentheses if you'd like to. We also know which particular letter in the alphabet can actually replace a missing word. Now, I'm going to call on Chad Royer because I think Chad Royer listens to all my videos. So Chad, what letter can we use? That's right, Chad, the letter X. So I'm going to put the letter X right here. It's my way of letting me know that that word that has been cut out. All right, same thing. Fiji cannibals that American politicians fear actually eat American missionaries. So let's change the sentence a little bit more. What if, instead of that American politicians fear, what if I changed this word and I changed it to missionaries? So what if I said Fiji cannibals, American missionaries fear, eat American missionaries? That makes sense because they would fear them because they're actually being eaten. So let's get rid of these words here. Boom. All right, let's see if we can get rid of this. And let's fill this back in with missionaries. That makes sense. So Fiji cannibals, American missionaries fear, eat American missionaries. That makes sense. How about, instead of the Fiji cannibals eating American missionaries, how about they actually eat, Fiji missionaries? Or even better, not just be Fiji missionaries, they actually eat other Fiji cannibals. So cannibals eating cannibals. That makes sense. So let's change this to cannibals. Let's see if we can get this to disappear. Boo, 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 boo. I think the sound effects make it go faster and more helpful. And let's get rid of the word American. There we go. And let's change this back to my pretty blue. Let's change this to cannibals are eating cannibals. Fiji cannibals eat Fiji cannibals. And for some reason, that makes American missionaries scared because Fiji cannibals that American missionaries fear eat Fiji cannibals. Okay. Well, what if they weren't American missionaries who feared them? What if they were actually Fiji cannibals? Meaning, what if this was actually Fiji cannibals that Fiji cannibals fear eat other Fiji cannibals? Which makes a lot of sense because if I was a Fiji cannibal, I'd be a little afraid of other Fiji cannibals because they're probably going to eat me. But at the same time, if we're going to talk sort of ethics of the whole thing, if you don't want to be eaten, then don't be a cannibal in the first place. And maybe even bigger than that is just don't go to Fiji, I guess. So I'm going to put Fiji right here. And let's put cannibals here. So now we have Fiji cannibals that Fiji cannibals fear actually eat Fiji cannibals. Well, yeah, maybe they fear them, but maybe even better than fearing them, maybe they eat them. Okay, so Fiji cannibals that other Fiji cannibals eat actually eat Fiji cannibals. So, okay, let's get rid of the word fear and let's put in that beautiful word eat right here. So now we say Fiji cannibals that other Fiji cannibals like to eats Fiji cannibals. Okay, now let's not even say they're from Fiji. Let's make it even scarier. Are you guys sitting down for this? Here it comes. What if they weren't from Fiji at all? What? What if they're not from Fiji? What if they're actually from the United States and they're up from a little town called Buffalo, New York? So, what if every place where I have the word Fiji, I actually have the word buffalo? So now, sorry about that last spelling there, but now instead of having Fiji cannibals, yikes. I mean, it's not so bad if they're all the way in Fiji, and I can't imagine myself ever going to Fiji. But what's more scary is I've actually been to Buffalo. And so what if they're actually in Buffalo? Let's change this back to our blue. And so now, what if I said Buffalo cannibals that. Ooh, I just messed up my color there, didn't I, folks? Let's just keep it consistent here. That buffalo cannibals eat other what? They eat other buffalo cannibals. Ah! But what if they actually don't eat them? What if they're kinder over in Buffalo? Instead of maybe they eat them, what if our word is not eating them? You okay if I just simply change it right here? What if instead of eating them, they just simply pick on them? So they bully them. So buffalo cannibals that remember I'm missing word that buffalo cannibals like to bully actually bully other buffalo cannibals. So you have buffalo cannibals that other buffalo cannibals are bullying, actually bully other buffalo cannibals. Okay. And maybe even better than that, maybe they're not really cannibals at all. You see where we're heading with this one? Sure, you do. You can see it already. But instead of saying cannibals, what if they're not really cannibals at all? They are just simply the animal of the bison. Instead of saying bison, let's just go crazy and just say that they're buffalo because maybe there are buffalo in the town of Buffalo. So now we have these buffalo, and now build this one down here. So now we have a sentence which says buffalo from the town of Buffalo, meaning they're buffalo, that other buffalo from Buffalo bully or pick on or bully other buffaloes from Buffalo. So you have these buffaloes who are in the town of Buffalo who other buffaloes from Buffalo actually pick on or bully them. They themselves also bully other buffaloes, which I think is the heart of bullying people, because I think those who bully other people bully because they've also been bullied. There's an ethical question or I guess discussion here, but the thing we're dealing with is the grammar of it all. And what if that was the end of the sentence? Well, that's a great sentence. Buffalo, 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 bully, bully, buffalo, buffalo. But what makes the sentence really amazing is that there's another word for bully in the English language. And another word for bullying someone, for pushing someone around. If you really want to just simply push someone around, you are, in a sense, buffaloing them. Buffalo is a verb. And therefore, to buffalo someone is to bully or to push them around. And therefore, I can change each of those to the verb buffalo. And I end up with a wonderful sentence which says, buffalo, buffalo, that. Buffalo, buffalo, buffalo. Buffalo, buffalo, buffalo. And that is the infamous buffalo sentence.